Welcome to Sylvester's podcast. Behind the desk is the co-host, a sports reporter for Sports News Review, Sylvester. Alrighty, Sylvester, a new show for you, a new podcast, and we're going to start the first episode on the state of affairs, nation pride in sports. And now, for folks, there is a big game tonight, and it's the Four Nations Cup. And, Sylvester was coming up to me and saying, hey, I'm an American. Of course, he didn't say it like that, but, he's an American. And obviously, I'm Canadian. And, the Munchie brothers are Canadian. Coach Coyote is an American. COB Bunny is an American. Felix is a Canadian, and Ernie is an American. So, it's like, the American, versus Canada in the Four Nations Cup, and Sylvester naturally, has that nation pride, and I'm like, Ernie's not caring, Ernie and I are on both same page where we just don't care, but we are a sports news review channel, and that's when CEO B Bunny earlier came up with an idea to, we're not covering enough sports. We're just doing football and world sports that are obscure that people don't know, they don't watch. CEO B Bunny's just doing his CEO duties. And I'm like, I understand. So, came up, with the idea, we're going to do a podcast. Sylvester, I'm going to give Sylvester, because he is an esports reporter, and his own show, and it's going to be Sylvester's podcast. And he's asking Sylvester, are you interested? And Sylvester said, yes, I'm definitely interested, because I went to journalism school, and I more than just NFL football. And of course, Coach Coyote is all NFL. As far as the Four Nations Cup go, he's just like everyone else. Just okay, national pride. Going, I am an American after all, and I do go back to my compound in Arizona. New Mexico. Sorry, it's in New Mexico. Coach Coyote's got his compound in New Mexico. And, he's mildly going to watch it while looking at some football stats and the upcoming, what is it called? The Combine, We're going to cover the Combine with either Coach Coyote or Sylvester, one of the two. But Sylvester's podcast is going to be all sports. And we told Sylvester that we're going to do a segment. Well, this is COB Bunny's idea to do another NFL news, some more NFL news. We'll try to fill up some content and get Sylvester to present the NFL news. But when it comes to Sylvester's podcast, we're going to not do any NFL related topics, and we're going to get Sylvester his own microphone. You could see the microphone icon on the board where it says state of affairs, but it was just too big. I gotta get it. It's hard to get the size correctly. So what I gotta do is use the template, take another picture of Sylvester and use the template, and then I could get the size of this SNR, and the way the size of the SNR is, and that way it'll look perfect. So because it is Sylvester's podcast, but we just didn't have time to go a photo shoot and go get the photograph and then go cut it out. And it's like, let's get, by that time we could have uploaded the video already. On our next I told Sylvester, on our next one we'll get your own microphone icon with your picture on it. And Coach Coyote doesn't mind because he does NFL football, and it's got a football on the logo with SNR. and it's like he's fine. He loves it. Coach Coyote doesn't care about having his own pitcher on the microphone, but Sylvester is doing a whole variety of sports, and of course we don't want to put the football stitches on, and we're not using those other ones, the SNR, because that's Ernie's. You could tell it's Ernie's. They're hand drawn, colored in, and Sylvester's more professional than that. So, well, like I said, we're gonna start our first one with Nation Pride in Sports, and the big one tonight, which really sets off this Nation Pride in Sports, is the Four Nations Cup, and tonight is the final, which Sylvester's gonna watch because he is the Sports reporter. And I feel like I'm just going to be with Ernie, and we're going to just try to find sports worldwide. Whereas, so Sylvester will be watching it on his own personal television, and he's watching the Four Nations Cup. Coach Coyote's kind of, like he said, he's kind of in and out. He'll have it in the background, but he'll have his own personal tablet and looking up combine, coaches NFL, and the Munchie brothers, Ketchup and Barbecue. They're Canadians, born in Toronto. You could say, like, they were made in Toronto, a company made in Toronto for promotion, and back in the 80s. So they're Canadian 100%. And they're going to watch it with Sylvester. So it's going to be their own watch party. See, I don't, Sylvester, I don't, these guys could watch it, but I don't feel like doing a watch party either. I know there's going to be others out there that'll do a watch party. And I know a lot of people, we just don't have the room on the studio. Also, too, I'd kind of just, I would do the watch party, but I'd want somebody else to narrate, a bigger studio, because it's gonna, the studio. Felix is Canadian, by the way, and and of course Felix is taking bets. And COB Bunny's gonna. So, the Christmas donkey, or our Christmas donkey, is just. He likes soccer. That's it. The only thing Christmas donkey likes is soccer, and his only idol is Gus. The movie where it's a mule kicking a football. So, but he's not a huge football fan, but he loves Gus. And of course, I do too. And but soccer. Our Christmas donkey is all about soccer. So, with that, we're going to start with tonight is the Four Nations Cup, and it's going to be the final. I don't even know too much about it, Sylvester. Oh yes, I'm just saying, like, I'll wrap that up with. So there's going to be a watch party at Sports Newsroom, but we're not going to broadcast it because I just don't have the room on the studio, because it's going to be CEOB Bunny, Sylvester, Barbecue Munchie, Ketchup Munchie, and Felix, and that's pretty well it. Christmas Donkey is gonna. He's looking for soccer. He likes to watch YouTube, even YouTube highlights of soccer. He loves loves every professional leagues in Europe and Asia. He's all soccer. Okay, so with that, tonight, of course. Well, I'd love to join you guys. What a fun bunch that would be. Eh? I'd love to join you guys in your watch party, but I'm just with Ernie. I don't know. No, you don't. They're gonna call me soft, and I'm like, I could take it. Yes, I am soft, by the way, because I weigh. I guess I weigh a little bit more than I should, and you could touch my stomach like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and I'll go hee hee hee. And there's my comedy for myself. I don't mind. Sylvester you're in good. You and Coach Coyote and COB Bunny, these guys stayed in really good shape. And he got a little, he kind of overdid it on the what is it? Those things that you can get a lot of vitamins out of, like a drink. The elderly folk drink, but he decided I need some more vitamins, and because I don't prepare enough good meals for Sylvester, and he's the one that went out and did his own, get his own carrots and vegetables. Well, carrots, we got carrots and vegetables, obviously COB Bunny, but Sylvester is a cat, and so is Coach Coyote. So we try to, they can eat vegetables, but we try to get them not so much, like, we don't want them to get their digestive system all in a rut, and of course we try to do some more variety, but the Munchie Brothers, they're mostly about potato chips, because they were here before the European settlements. I'm talking their ancestors, the Munchie Brothers. They're here before and I think potatoes were around, they eat like what's like indigenous plants that's in our continent here, and potatoes is the one that really they're used to. I'm pretty sure is that for whatever reason, I'm guessing because they love potatoes and potato chips, and that's how they became the spokes I guess the spokes mascots for Hostess potato chips back in the day, and they got bought out by Lay's, and for whatever reason, Lay's didn't carry on the Munchie Brothers, all three of them. I got all three living here, but and I got Salt and Vinegar, and of course, oh yeah, Salt and Vinegar is Canadian. He's going to be lying down on his hospital bed. See, that's another thing too. Sylvester is just, we can't, like, to do a really good watch party because we don't have the room. Because yeah, I forgot about that. So it would, like, look how many would be on the stage here. It would be barbecue Munchie, ketchup Munchie, Salt and Vinegar Munchie needs to lie down on a hospital bed. He's recovering still. We still have to find what I could call a veterinarian that can sew the neck back. And then COB Bunny, and Sylvester, of course, and Felix. So you got there's 60. And well, Coach Coyote's going to be in his own world. He might join in, and but of course he's going to be on the laptop. So there's going to be 7, and there is definitely no room in the studio and it's just not. How do I exclude anybody that really wants? And I'm not into it, so. That's perfect. The timing is perfect. The studio's too small to fit all 7, and wow, I can't believe I can't believe how much crew we have on Sports News Review, and it's just Ernie and I are going to be. We're the two only. We're not protesting. We're just who we are. We just don't want to watch. We don't really care for the violence. Like, it's going to be extremely violent tonight, and it's almost like I'm promoting it, but we're not on World Sports News with Ernie, where I can talk about it, and because we don't discuss combative sports, and we include ice hockey as combative sports, because they're looking to paste, players are looking to paste another player against the boards. Ernie and I we're just not. We would like to see field hockey instead, or we watch the professional women's hockey league, because there's no like hitting. It's mostly action, and I'm fine with it. It's a slower pace than the NHL, so it's easier to follow if you're just new to hockey. It's actually easier to follow because you're not worried about players getting injured by getting pasted and knee to knee and pretending, oh, I didn't mean that, no, and then of course the latest thing was the sucker punch with the and then it just, the sucker punch on the Buffalo Sabres player. I forget his name now at the moment. And then NHL has a big problem of, no, it looks okay. You got, because of you got a penalty on it. Oh, big deal. I don't understand why he wasn't suspended for minimal 5 games, because that player had a concussion and couldn't play, and that's one concussion in his life he didn't need, and now you're just ruining that player's future possibly, because more concussions equals. Oh, by the way, what happened? For years from now, whatever happened to that almost 7-foot player, 6'5", 6'8", 6'7", something like that, on the Buffalo Sabres? Well, all those concussions he had, the doctors finally said, look, here's your brain scan on the MRI machine. Look, it's not good. You're going to not be able to tie your own, think properly in the future, because these concussions. So that's why there's just, I'm going to say it. What is the problem? Sylvester's saying, okay, what is your problem with nation versus nation? And I go, and you can tell Sylvester's heated on that one, because we come like we look at, okay, let's look at your Wikipedia page just for folks out there to remind, because I was gonna say, Sylvester, you're let's see, so let's get your, I know you got your own Sylvester, and it's the cat Wikipedia. Okay, and I'm going to put Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia. Okay. And, okay, there it is. Sylvester the Cat, Wikipedia. And, let's see. Okay, when did you start? Okay, yes. What? Oh, my gosh, I didn't... Okay, is it okay if I mention? Because it's on the Wikipedia page, Sylvester. It's not like I'm giving away your age, but 1945. Your Coach Coyote is younger than you, so you're. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No way! Wait, March 24, 1945. Sylvester's birthday is coming up. March the 24th, Sylvester's birthday coming up. We're looking at 1945. It's, oh my gosh, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2025. 70 years old. Did I do it right? I'm doing it so fast. Sylvester is not giving his age, but Sylvester, it's okay. It's on the Wikipedia page. It's not like I'm telling your age, but yes, I mean, you are in really good shape the only thing is you got a lot of white hairs, and that's just from the sun, because you love staring out the window, as a cat. That's one of the, and the black, see, when we took these photos, we can Sylvester and I, we've tried to recreate those photos, but it was taken with the laptop camera, and we did not color his, Sylvester did not go get fur dye and color his fur black. It just came out the black because, well, you could see how Sylvester is got grays. I got more grays than Sylvester, but that's just being a natural process. We get a little bit older in life, and we get grays, especially if you love sunbathing like Sylvester. And it doesn't show on this camera, but his eyes are getting a little yellow from being in the sun too long, and they're like the whites of his eyes are getting a little. Because they're getting a little yellow from being in the sun. I don't know if it's just the sun or whatever, but yeah, Sylvester used to be very, like, when I first met Sylvester back in '93, I guess it was, and Well, you were at the Blockbuster Video. Oh my gosh! I wish I didn't think you would end up being my presenter on Sports News Review and back in '93. You know, not a chance. But you know what else they had? They had all the other. It was at a Blockbuster Video at the store section. The Blockbuster Video. They had all the other Warner Brothers stuffed toys. And I'm so mad I didn't myself for not getting the other ones. I could have got the Roadrunner. I could like the Roadrunner is rare. It's hard to find. I could have got Pepe Le Pew. I could have got the Roadrunner, Pepe Le Pew, Tweety. I could have got the Pepe Le Pew, Tweety. And Speedy Gonzalez. Oh gosh, the Speedy Gonzalez would be perfect to be doing soccer. He loves soccer. Speedy, I know Speedy. We're gonna have quite the cast here if we keep adding on, which everybody wants to. Everybody wants them, and at least he'll be our first. Speedy Gonzalez will be our first non-American Canadian citizen because Speedy Gonzalez is Mexican, and I don't find any. I love Speedy Gonzalez. I find. I mean, as far as that's a different kind of national pride. I mean, there's hardly any, cartoon characters that are Mexican. And Speedy Gonzalez is when I grew up. I never thought negative of Speedy Gonzalez. I understand he's wearing, yellow, like the yellow garb with the sombrero. But you know what? That's just because Speedy Gonzalez is a regular folk and. Obviously, Sylvester knows who Speedy Gonzalez is. They had their own, they had a few. I remember watching you and Speedy Gonzalez on your own shows. And Daffy Duck too. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Daffy Duck. I could have bought Daffy Duck at the. I'm so mad at myself for how many of those I could have got. But it's over with now. It's over. So, but anyways, Sylvester's going. Okay, now let's get back to what's wrong with nation versus nation in sports. And I'm like, okay, I understand that when it comes to the Olympics, that all these athletes get a chance to go on the world stage, and everything will be paid for them to be able to get to. Now, of course, it doesn't matter for the Usain Bolts of the world that make money before the Olympics, and it doesn't matter for, like, say the American basketball team, the Dream Teams, that they don't even stay at the Olympic Villages. They rent their own hotels. And I understand that especially other like African nations, they all get a chance to get into like the finals. Like the Olympic tournament is the final of because it's 4 years in process. So I understand. I understand you're an esports reporter, Sylvester, but I'm just saying it in general, like for people, just to say that I'm fully aware of the positives, quote unquote, the positives of the Olympic movement. It's supposed to promote world peace, but then once again, I understand. I'm for it. I can't deny that because that's the whole mantra of my other, well, not mine, well, ours. It's Sports News Review because I don't. Like I like to say, I pretend to not own the YouTube channel, Sports News Review, even though technically in the human world, I own Sports News Review. But it's fun to pretend that I have a CEO, B Bunny, as in Bugs Bunny, and I only got Bugs Bunny in that famous, one year they made him in a Santa Claus suit in it, and the detail on it is so awesome, and I don't think I'd ever find another. I maybe find another Bugs Bunny plush toy, which we call B Bunny for obvious reasons. And like with the detail, I'd have to have the same detail because I don't want them to look indifferent. Now, like that's why I bought you Sylvester at the time at the Blockbuster Video, is because Sylvester had the best detail with that tail. The tail is too. He's got a long tail in the back that, and it's so accurate. It's like as if he's alive, like right now. You look at Sylvester. The way I'm looking at Sylvester, not through the camera. He looks like he could, like he's alive, like he's real, but obviously he's a plush toy. Now, so I'll pretend now, go back to pretending that Sylvester's real and he's my co-host, and I'll answer the question of what I got against nation versus nation in this day and age. And it's just because it's a changing world, Sylvester. Okay, now I don't know, like, okay, maybe I'll start with the answer from the beginning. Let's go with my beginning answer. And okay, and it correlates to, if that's the correct word, Sylvester. You know if it is because you went to journalism school. I didn't. And with today's, or is it tonight's ice hockey game, which is going to be NHL rules, and mostly NHL rules. And yeah, I gotta say, yeah, they're all NHL players, NHL referees. Yeah, it's gonna be mostly NHL rules, and it's in Boston. I'm pretty sure tonight. Either way, it's okay. So, I'm just like, I don't know. I'll start again. With 1970. Is it okay? The Canada, what we call the Canada Russia series, but it's like there's another one that's a mistake in history, and it's not. It's not Canada, Russia. It should be Canada, Soviet Union. They were not Russia at the time. It was Canada, Soviet Union. But for, I guess for marketing purposes, you see people putting Canada, Russia. Okay, so let's see. I'll put Canada, Soviet. Okay, Soviet Union hockey, and is it 1972? It'll correct me, or 73. I can't remember offhand. It looks like it might correct it. See, then the suggestions is 1972 hockey, Russia's versus Canada. It was not Russia at the time. It was the Soviet Union. I grew up at a time when it was the Soviet Union where they were the nation of Russia, like as in, Soviet Union encompassed more than just the Russia, so. Like, it's not about politics here. Like, I'm not talking politics. I'm just saying for the young folk out there that, like, they're gonna see, like, they're gonna wonder if they're of a young age, Sylvester, right now, and say, born in 2016, and they're okay. Let's say 20. Oh my, it's getting really. I'm getting so old. Let's say 2012 right now. They're born in 2012. Okay, now they go on YouTube. And they type in Canada, and of course, 1972 Canada, and it's gonna say Russia, and then it's Soviet Union, and then they're gonna see the uniform, the red uniform on the Soviet Union. Obviously, there's like they didn't have blue in it because blue is gonna be Russia with the flag of Russia, and what's on the jersey? The jersey, I said it jersey because. This is worldwide, but well, I grew up always calling it the hockey uniform. I didn't say jersey. I never really said jersey. That's the first time I said jersey I can't remember the last time I ever said it like that. But the hockey uniform, which is the jersey in America, in Canada, I think in my part of the world, we used to just say hockey uniform. Oh yeah, and running shoes, sneakers. I never called them sneakers. I called them running shoes. But that's just little things, little quirky things. And, of course, I spell color with a U and all that. But just continue on here. So, now, we get into, those were a time when, for some reason, we of course, probably thought it was historical, so you can't imagine, I know, Sylvester can because of I'm younger than Sylvester, and this is like 1972, and well, they said, hey, I don't know if it was live. Maybe it was live because the game would have been in the Soviet Union, which is Russia now at the time, and of course, uh, it was a black and white. Okay, the old black and white television you seen it on, and okay, now what was it? I was in school, and they decided to bring a television into the gymnasium. Okay, and we're talking at that time. We're talking a television that was on a really tall stand, black and white, and had its own metal cabinet with doors on it. It was hilarious, and it was round too. Like it was like an older. It was like 1972, and there was color available. Like color TV, television was available, but schools still had that. Like the availability the schools had was a television that was like the screen was rounded edges instead of square, more square, and a bubble. It stuck out like a bubble. The screen. Anyways, so they said, "Hey, we're gonna watch a hockey game," and we're like, "Wow, we're watching a hockey game." And it's daytime, and we're in school, and we're not in the class, and all of a sudden, the television's on. You got talking. I can't. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it had to be live because like my memories faded so much, Sylvester, that I'm very, very sure. I'm almost 99% sure that it was one of the games of the Canada and I'll call it Russia, even though it's Soviet Union's hockey series. I guess it was Russia because most of the players came from Russia. That's probably why. I don't know. Okay, and we're like the whole school is like there was chairs in the back for the like they had to bring their own chair from the classroom. Since I can't remember. I remember sitting on the floor. I had to sit on the floor to watch it. You could sit on the floor back when you're that young. It's not gonna kill you. And well, I got at least up close. At least I was up close to the television. I was near the front row, and there's a gymnasium, so sitting in the back, I think it was like, what? That was like a watch party. Oh my gosh. I went to a watch party, quote unquote. And I'm still thinking to this day, I think the teachers wanted to watch the game so bad that they came up with this idea. Maybe the history teacher or whoever teaches history came up with the idea saying, hey, let's watch it. Let's show the kids that it's very important. Canada, even though Canada played the Soviet Union in the Olympics previously, because it was 1972, so they played previously, but the Canada-Russia series and all that. And so, like, I've been through it all. I've been through it all, been there, done that, and now and one of the things is, like, Sylvester, one of the things was that what was it? The Canada somehow, like, they won that one game that, well, it's synonymous with, because of the ties, I guess. There was a tie. Okay, like, I guess, I can't remember. So what I'm going to do is go on the Wikipedia page, Sylvester, because that gives me all the good information, just the facts. I wish I could donate to the Wikipedia. I just can't afford it. Canada, they're it's very, very, very good. I gotta put Canada versus Russia, I guess. 1972. And I'm gonna put the Wikipedia series. Okay, Wikipedia. Okay, so we get into the Canada Russia 72. Okay, that's the Wikipedia. That's what they're calling it. Okay, Canada Russia 72. Yeah, and they show the Soviet Union. The poster's got Canada, Russia 72, the Canadian maple leaf on top with the Soviet Union hammer and sickle and the star. Okay, so let's see. There's a plot. Wait, there's a movie. Oh, it's a documentary. Oh, this is probably really really good to watch. Is the Canada Russia drama miniseries about the 72 Summit Series. I forgot it was the Summit Series. I knew that, but it's been such a long time, Sylvester. I totally forgot about that. Where professional players from Canada played the Soviet Red Armies, they call it. And we all know that. Yeah, some of them were called tank commanders. Like, okay, they probably never seen the inside of a tank. It was just because they couldn't have professional. See, that's the thing is, there's a lot of things that the young folk just don't understand. Because why the Soviet Union dominated in the Olympics back in the days, because they would not allow professionals in the Olympics. They wanted to keep the spirit of the amateur in the Olympic movement. And that all changed with the Dream Team and basketball, and we know that's that. So, but it became to a point where, like, come on, like, they're not. If we were allowed to follow these players from the Soviet Union and what they do during the daytime, oh, they're allowed to practice hockey, quote unquote. Sure, you're allowed to practice hockey, but as far as being in the Red Army, I don't know what their duties were. Not much, probably, because they're more interested. They're trying to get a. You got a lot. You got plenty of folk in the army. Like, you don't need these hockey players to be out there getting hurt. Boot camp and all that. Like, I think it's more like they're just to give it the amateur status, that they're not, and to get some competition. Like, it's you feel like you need competition. So one of the things I brought up is that Canada was a really rough style play because you're professionals, and Soviet Union was more about skill, accuracy, and like skill as in passing, accuracy, shooting, and defense. But they admired the speed in which the professional players were, like a Bobby Hall. I seen parts of that document. I remember seeing parts of it, like, back a few years ago, and one of them was the speed. Like, there was, both sides had really pluses. Like, Canada and United States hockey and Europe was learning off of the Soviet Union more than they were of the North American style, which is the Canada needed to adopt more of that style, as like, in a sense, because if they were more of a style that the Soviet Union played, which would be today's world, they would have won 8. They would have won all 8 games. I think it was 8 games, if I remember correctly. There was a tying one. They would have just won easily all 8. Now, it was like, they got caught. Canada got, if I remember correctly, Canada got caught off guard in the sense. I'm not talking about Sylvester. I'm not talking about the Summit Series. Like, I'm not doing a recap of the Summit Series, but I'm bringing up that, like, the plus and minuses of what happened, in the world that introduced. Canada was introduced to, like, you had coaches, managers realizing, we should have, on paper, we should have just won this easily, and I agree. We probably should have. They should have won this easily, okay? But they too much concentrating on like a hard bullying hit tactics of hitting the boards, finishing the checks, which I think the Soviet Union did finish their checks, quote unquote. But they just didn't, like, it wasn't like, the idea wasn't that they didn't install, like, intimidate that player, physicality, like with an elbow and challenging to a fight, kind of deal. And they just weren't allowed, because they had to practice for the Olympics, and they were interested in winning gold medals at the Olympics. And in the Olympics, you can't fight, and you can't do all that rough housing and all that, because you're going to get kicked out of the tournament. the Olympic in the winter games. You're gonna be kicked out because it's a different world. It's not the NHL. So like they said, if Canada would have like lost every game, it would have been Canada would have been like, oh my god, at the time. And I was very young. They would have had to like look themselves in the mirror, as they say, as a nation, going, I think we need to change our tactics on more skill and more. So that I understand. There's good and positives of all that. Okay, now, like I said, I'm well aware of all this, but what and we go back farther than '72, and it's coming up. It's in the 1936 Olympics. I think 2036 is a possibility. Let's see. The next Olympics are 20. Yeah, let's see. It's 4 years. No, I don't think. I'm not going to go out. I think no 2028. 2020 then 2023. Yeah, so 2028 would be the Los Angeles Olympics, and then there is a possibility. 2036 is a 100-year anniversary of the Berlin Olympics in '36, and I am not going to go in there. Anyone could just go to on the internet, go to Wikipedia, and go to put 1936 Berlin Olympics, and look up all the controversy. I'm not going to get into it, and that's exactly how. I don't like in 2036. If I think could be an Olympic year, summer Olympic year. I don't want nation versus nation in those Olympics. They should just do. You know what? You gotta be this good. The Olympics will pay, like whatever host city will pay for the accommodations, will pay for the flight, and and get them from the professionals of track and field. Get them from the make it like whatever the world championship is that year. Instead of having a world championship of track and field that year, make it the world. Put that in the Olympics instead. When there's like any event that's a major top tournament, put it, and no flags, no national anthems. Opening ceremonies are just going to be, just a party, like the way the closing ceremonies are, saying, hey, watch really good professional athletes on the world stage competing, and if they want to wear a flag after they win, but they're not going to get this gold medal on top of this thing with the flag flying and the national, because that's like it's I don't know what the world's going to be like in 2036, but the way the world is going when it comes to sports, I don't really need that. We don't need that anymore. We don't need this animosity for whatever reason. Now, I'm gonna say, like, I don't want to watch it because of the total animosity of. One, is that the correct word? I know you know the word, Sylvester, because you are a sports news reporter and you went to journalism school. But I'm just using $5 words, and that's one of my bad habits. And I don't realize if it's the correct way to what animosity. Let's see, animosity meaning it's a strong hostility. Yeah, that's. I guess. We don't want that between nations. I don't. That's. Like I said, that's why I did World Sports News with Ernie. This is before I even had CEOB Bunny. I started Sports News Review, as in I pretended to hire CEOB Bunny on Christmas Day. After he did that Christmas message, I go, I might as well make him the CEO. That way, I don't know, just makes it like a corporation, it's not all me, quote unquote, which it is in reality. It's all me, 100% me, setting up the studio, setting up the the camera, setting up, changing the backdrop here when I decided to get Sylvester's own backdrop, and I pretending that he decided to, like, we got his paw print on it, and it's all over the. Actually, Sylvester's got fingers. He's supposed to be human like, eh? He's got fingers, Sylvester. So, anyways, but pretending that Sylvester, personally, but Sylvester likes this, anyways. The backdrop, anyways. So, usually it's the flowers in the backdrop. Okay, it looks like it comes from SpongeBob SquarePants. I watched that show and I don't even know why. I'm old and adult and I don't know why. I watched it a couple of years. I watched it for a few years. When it first came out. I don't know why I liked it. If no clue. It was an old school cartoon. That's why I liked it. I was a cartoon junkie, but I'm old and I'm not gonna watch just because it's on the cartoons. But when they do a cartoon old school way, I kind of like take a look at it. And anyways, getting back to it, and I just, I don't know. I mean, like, the only good thing was they only did four nations, and I don't want to get on to like the nations that were excluded from it. Let's not go there. This is not that kind of program. We're not a political program here. I just needed a topic to start. I wanted a topic to start the Sylvester's podcast, non NFL related, and I could talk about other sports, which I intended to talk at the beginning when I said, like, when I started Sports News Review, March the 9th. So the 2-year anniversary of Sports News Review is coming up. And now I know that Sylvester's birthday is coming up, March 25th. And I totally forgot. I never looked up your Wikipedia page, but I looked up Coach Coyote. I thought you were younger than Coach. You look so good. You look, just say Sylvester looks so good. Okay, so I mean, like, I don't know. I just don't. I tried at the beginning. I knew I was like relegated to lying down on a bed all the time, which I am practically right now. I'm just like leaning real. I've been leaning back with my feet up. I'm gonna lie down for a bit. Back on the bed. Okay, I'm gonna switch. My leg is. Even though I've been with my feet up and lying back, pulling the chair back, and the seat really far back, reclining. It's not the same as lying down. I need to lie down, Sylvester. That was too long. I'm gonna pay for this. I'm gonna pay for sitting on that recliner too long. I am really gonna pay for it. Okay. I'm lying down on the bed now. I feel so much. Oh my gosh, I could feel the numbness in my legs, Sylvester. I know you're older than me. Well, I'm younger than you. I'm gonna say it nicely, but Sylvester, in health, you're in much better health than me. I could never stand up that long. If I stood up that long, I'd keel over, like literally keel over, and my leg would give out. My left leg would just give out. Right now, oh my God, I guess the blood's coming back. I feel it. Oh, I can feel the ants, like the ants feel, like, you got ants crawling inside your body. That kind of feeling. And it's cold. My left foot is cold because it just doesn't, I don't know. Like, I spend most of the day lying down, so that's why I'm just in bad health physically too. So, I don't know. I guess being in the health I'm in, I just don't know why I don't like the animosity in sports between, I don't care to call me soft, but well, I'll cover other sports with Sylvester, because I don't have to worry about it. We'll do other podcasts, and we don't have to do NFL, and I'm totally well aware that the NFL is a violent, clashing sport. But once again, Sports News Review is the YouTube channel, and all the others are programs with the YouTube channel. And that's why I segmented all these programs. And it was helpful to get pretend to get like a quote unquote CEO, because now I can pretend that, well, I cover all the sports because our CEO wants us to, which is we're doing right now. And I just like just say that I'm just reiterating over and over how I just don't really buy that uh, nation versus nation like I used to anymore, Sylvester. And well, I mean, okay, we can go, let's go skip forward a bit. Well, of course we'll go back one more time, Back to the Future. No, that's next. That's coming up next. I made a mistake. Okay, so we'll go back now. And I'm well aware after the 36 Berlin Olympics that then the Soviet Union was like, hey, I'm just paraphrasing history because my own opinion, the way I looked at it. It's like Soviet Union is like, hey, sports and dominance in sports will highlight that we are, like we're doing things really well in the Soviet Union, and like, but what like seriously, like just because you're good in weightlifting and you're good in Olympic weightlifting, and you win Winter Olympics with the ice hockey. Well, and then we get into the night, and then we get into the. I mean, that's and that's when it became like national pride to win, and it's like why? It's like it's 2025, and now we'll go back to the future here. Is why do we need to have this nation versus nation animosity for in sports? And most people say, "Oh, it's just a friendly competition, tonight's game," but like, I mean, why? Why do we need that in life? Like, why can't I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we've got a long time to promote the idea of the 2036 Olympics to get rid of nations for the one Olympic at least. Just that one Olympics. Get rid of nations for one Olympics. And that's the one I want to see. I want to be alive in 2036, be able to turn on the television and see the Olympics with no nations. That that would be like Sylvester. I totally understand. Yeah, I know you like to be. You're from that old world. I'm also from that old world too, but I I just changed my tune where I don't know. I just became a different person over the years. 20 years ago, I would have been all excited about this, and 20 years ago, watch party wasn't really in the vernacular, but everybody was doing it. But now, ever since you could live stream on YouTube, I think watch party became more and more known, like as a word, watch party, to and well, I don't know. I just we could, like I said, but one of the biggest ones, of course, when it comes to pride and nation, 1980, and the Miracle on Ice, as they call it, the U.S. Olympic hockey team with college players winning the gold medal. And it was different though. It was, oddly enough, if anybody really looks at it, if they're very young, there was no like a bracket where when a team loses at the end, like to get to the finals, they it was round robin, and I mean, like the game, the importance of the game between USA and the Soviet Union in 1980. I mean, there was a. I suppose the way it was set up, that I think I don't think that was how is it that they won? I gotta did they how did it work out? Let's see. Okay, so how did USA win the 1980 gold medal for ice hockey? Like, what was the mechanism again? Okay, okay, won the gold medal. Okay, New York. Okay, see, by defeating the Soviet Union and Finland, but see, there was the victory became known as the. See, that was not okay. See, after the game, but with the Soviet Union, that was not the gold medal game. There wasn't like a bracket system back then. It was a different world, and that game was more of pride and like a political like pride, where obviously it was in Lake Placid. So to get a ticket to that game, to the wow, I can't even imagine. I obviously I watched that game on television, and I remember Al Michaels with the "Do you believe in miracles?" Is that yeah? Do you believe in miracles? I remember I witnessed it live on television, and I still remember that weird blue spot on the ice. I could not. I never got into it. Why was that weird blue blotch behind? It was. Of course, I think it's all still there. I can't imagine that arena. That must be a shrine. Okay, but and oddly enough, the U.S. Men's hockey team actually won earlier too. Uh, and I remember that, but then the Soviet Union was always dominating the sport. You see, now that was not Felix. I'm sorry, Felix. Did I say Felix? I mean Sylvester. I am once again well aware that that it was not the gold medal game, being you are a sports reporter, but it was 2 days later. The U.S. secured the gold medal by winning against Finland 4-2 in their final game, round robin. See, it was a round robin. The the thing was, the Soviet Union won the silver medal with a 9-2 victory over Sweden. Whoo! And they sold. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! When let's just say like um, I just can't imagine how. I don't know how would you like to bet on Team Sweden at that team? No, It's just- I don't even know what really happened to the players in the show. We have no clue when they got back home. Oh my gosh! Does any I'm gonna put that down. This is why I don't like this nation. That's one of those reasons against Sylvester's. What happened to these players? Possibly we don't know. What really happened to the players of the Soviet Union in 1980 after they lost the gold medal? I'll try that again. Does anybody really know what really happened to the players who in the Soviet Union who lost the 1980 Olympic game to the USA? I don't think it's gonna tell me. Okay, maybe I gotta type it up. Okay, let's see. I'll try that again. Okay, let's try that again. Does does anyone know what really happened to the players of the 1980 Soviet Union ice hockey team after they lost the gold medal? Okay, search it. Wasn't it search it? Okay, search it. Six. That's 1989, 89, 90. Okay, that's not it. Uh, oh, what happened to the 1980 Soviet hockey team? Do we know? Oh, in 1989-90 season. Oh, okay, they were allowed to join. Six of them were allowed to join the. They were allowed to join the NHL in 89-90. But let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's a Reddit question on that because people like me would have been on Reddit going like that, saying, "My gosh, do we even know what happened to those players? Like the punishment they got? We don't even have a clue because that was a closed society to the Western world, and if and we can only guess like the harsh treatment they must have received for losing that game against USA." And we don't know. We just don't. And that's another thing too. Ernie, Sylvester. I'm getting tired too. I'm getting tired, and I'm never glad I'm lying down again. And see, that's what happened, Sylvester. It's been an hour, and I'm already exhausted. And I don't know. I mean, like, dude, like that's another thing too. Is what really happens to uh, uh, like you got this nation pride, and then the players from countries that a closed society of countries. We don't know what happens to those players when they get back to their country after like a bad performance. I not because they didn't win gold, but they were at least expected to, like get farther advanced. Oh, we could. Oh, what about what? I still have this magazine about. It was the 1998 World Cup, and this is Nation versus. Like I don't even want to watch. I don't even want to watch the World Cup. I'll just. I'll. I don't even. Like I'm not going to put it on World Sports News with Ernie. And as far as podcasts for Sylvester on that topic in the future, we already covered it. We're covering it right now. We already covered it. I'm not interested in watching the World Cup that's going to be in the United States of America. I'm not interested in watching the Olympics. That's going to be. I'd rather watch the African Games than watch the Olympics. I'd rather be able in 3 years or 4 years. I'd rather watch the African Games than watch the Olympics. I just the way I am. Of course, I'm not going to watch the combative sports in the. I just don't care no more about all that. It's just that's I'm not I'm not I'm kind of wondering. Well, I got state of affairs, nation pride, and sports, and I all I'm doing is just saying what I feel, and I didn't have a proper debate, or as I should say, Sylvester. If I would have had time, and I able to sit down, write a script, or no, I can't sit down. Look what happens when I sit down just a little. And I wasn't even sitting down. I was lying down on reclining on that chair. It's like it's an office chair that can really recline back, and I had my feet up, and I even have an extra cushion, and on the seat part I added a cushion, the soft gel cushions, and then it doesn't cut it. I'm already done for the day. Everything I'm gonna have to do the rest of this uploading the channel. The only time I'm going to get up again is to put the studio away because I really don't. I knocked the camera over twice and I'm glad it still works. I tried to block the shade on it because it was really, the sunlight. Even though it's not direct sunlight, it's still it's too bright. So I was putting up all these cardboard pieces of, and one fell when I went out of bed to get something, and one fell and knocked the camera over. Then I knocked the camera over again. But it still worked. I'm like, oh, jeez. The camera is right now. This camera is Sports News Review. Without this camera, I don't have sports news review. I'm not. I don't feel like using the laptop and hooking up microphones and all. It's just not the same. This one works so good, and I almost wrecked it twice today. But I gotta say, like, I'll have to do this. Like I said, I'm gonna do this lying down, uploading it, and then well, I'm trying to figure this all out. I should have really done a good debate where the positives and the negatives. I tried to start it out where it could have been a really good debate where Sylvester would be the quote unquote normal person, where just kind of the average person that's saying, yeah, I'm just watching the game. I'm American and I like to see USA win based on being an American. And I when he came back with a rebuttal on like what and all that, and then Sylvester, I could have pretended Sylvester's rebuttal would be, but I need a different voice too. I would have been nice if even to have another person sit down on. I could have been lying down on the bed, and that person could have just been sitting on my chair here, and they could pretend to be Sylvester's voice, and we could have I need a real human being that can, talk, not these plush toys, to have a good debate, which we could have had, but I don't have anybody around. Everybody's busy, I'd like to win the lottery. Could you imagine winning the lottery? I guess I would be Ernie. Every time, like I could put I'd get like really, really good plush toys, and I'd be able to afford to pay someone to pretend to be the other voices, like the Coach Coyotes, and have like a nice television screen. You know what I mean? Like it could be a really good channel, but I'm everything. I am the channel. I am the walrus. I am the channel. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I just, I don't know. I just like. Well, Sylvester, I think it's time for us to. We can end the program. I don't know why I don't know how to end it, Sylvester. I just want to keep on going to make sure I cover all the bases. But I think I've said enough, and like I've stated my case. I was part of the normal crowd that would just not look so deeply into sports, and it's not about the political. I'm not talking political. I'm just talking like peace, world peace, and one of those things, Sylvester. I started with the whole like, World Sports News and Ernie. I just wanted to. I like pretending when I say Sylvester all the time or Coach. I say Coach or Ernie. I like to pretend. It helps to keep the conversation going because I'm by myself. To pretend that I'm interacting with someone, but I know I'm not. The moment I actually think that Sylvester's like interacting with me, that's the time I call a taxi and go to the hospital and explain that I actually think the plush toy. I'm actually interacting with the plush toy. I'm not there yet, but if I do this YouTube channel and I play back and I have dementia and I play it back and then I'm gonna realize I got dementia. I will leave it up to just to highlight like, hey man, it can happen to anybody. You don't know, it can happen, and we all like we've all experienced by now. We've in life, if you're a certain age, you all experienced an elderly person that a loved one. That doesn't mean a husband or wife. I mean just a loved one, as in a relative or a very good personal close friend that they got dementia, and yeah, I mean it's like something you don't wish on anyone. It's just because they start to live in their own world. And I just can't imagine living in the sports news review world. I would probably be so glued into the sports news review world. I'd probably be live streaming almost for hours until I'm tired. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I mean, yeah, that's one of the reasons I started Sports News Review, and that's the whole point of it. Is like I was just wanted to discuss sports and like, and I didn't, I didn't, then get into that. I didn't really watch that much NHL. I don't watch that much NBA. I don't watch that much this and that. It's all NFL. I don't watch Major League Baseball at all, and it's just I just like my NFL and this off season. That's it. But I occasionally would like to watch sports, other sports. But then it became like, wait, I can't even catch those sports, and I have because it's but the Sale GP was available too. So well, there's the Sale GP, and they made up these nations, I guess. Even though they're not sponsored by the nation, but it's the Sail GP racing, it's sailboat racing, and they got nations on the flag. They got their flags on the boat, but it's all the same boats. It's kind of I guess it's for interest because like the Australia, New Zealand, and I don't know if they can get. Well, if you get, do they get others from other nations? But the problem is, with that, what if you're really good in sailing, and which like how do you go on one of these 8 or 7 teams? You know, it's kind of that's what I mean. But anyways, so but they don't they're not sponsored by a nation. It's all the same owner, like the corporation that owns all those sailboats, that racing sailboats, and it's a little different take on it. It's not like Olympic kind of nation versus nation take on it. It's more of just having something to for people to cheer because they did the Canada. They went to Canada. They did one race course in Canada, and that sold out quick. Wow, they sold out. I remember looking at their webpage, and sold out. I'm like, wow, did they ever sell? And then they went to New York, and it was like, yeah, wow. And then they go to San Francisco, and then Spain, and they're going, so yeah, there's nations, but it's kind of just to generate interest when they go to that nation, to generate interest to ticket sales. That's all it's for. It's not for how you say, the way tonight's game is. Tonight's game is gonna be just I don't like it anymore. Another example, and I'll give the last example, and then we'll cut it out. Sylvester, we'll cut out the program. We'll stop. Is the 1998, and I was about to allude to it, and I forgot. I kind of drifted somewhere else because I'm not reading the script. Sylvester and we're not both reading the script, and that'd be cute. You have a little teleprompter, Sylvester, to read, but it's not here or there. But yeah, the little monitor beside you and being a teleprompter beside the camera. So what it is 1998, and I still have the magazine, the World Cup, and they were highlighting all the teams. And that year, 1998. Now, it's just on the draws. Now you know this, Sylvester, being a sports reporter. But, the folks out there, that just don't, just a reminder that, when they do the schedule, and for which team is going to play which team, they try to do, the lottery ball system where they totally, you're going to, what Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, and the USA and Iran ended up in the same group, and I was like, and I got the, if I can't, it's not verbatim the quote I'm reading. Because I'm not gonna go look for the magazine. It's hidden somewhere in my treasure trove of mementos. And one of the articles, it was about the Iran or USA. I can't remember which one they were highlighting, but they said that the USA and Iran game is going to be very popular for all the wrong reasons. Like technically speaking, USA and Iran is not a big game in the sense that like without the political aspect of it, because Iran wasn't expected to go all the way to the finals, and USA was not expected to go all the way to the finals. And yeah, it was odd because they 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 they, they didn't at the beginning of the game they made it they called a friendly day or something, and they intermingled. They didn't have them they wanted to make it like it's just a soccer game, and I agree with FIFA 100%. It's just a soccer game. Whoever wins the soccer game is not. It's like not to use it as a political strategy. Just it's a sporting event, and that's probably what I mean by all this too. Tonight's thing. Canada, yes. I did. Are we a nation of ice hockey? Somewhat. I mean, can. I couldn't afford ice hockey when I was very young. I can only like I mean, can I mean folks in this day and age, they just try to get their kids into hockey, and it's very expensive, and they know it. Especially if they're a goaltender. Oh my gosh, if they're a goaltender, it's even more. It's specialized equipment now, and that's even more expensive. Can't just go to the still whatever town still has a sporting goods store. I guess if it wasn't for ice hockey, I don't think in Canada there wouldn't probably be any sporting goods stores left if it wasn't for ice hockey, because uh, like you could just go to a different kind of sporting goods store to buy because like Specialized, there's like they really some sporting goods stores. There's I think maybe two or three left in every big town. I don't mean like Toronto or Hamilton. I mean like even smaller towns like say a Windsor's or a London or a Guelph. You know or whatever like Mississaugas. Like this, there will be sporting goods stores still left that specialize in hockey equipment, and not just like going to what's I think like a Sport Check, which is mostly the Sport Check. I think you can buy equipment there. I never like if I go to a Sport Check, I'm not looking for equipment in my world. I'm just looking for sporting apparel. And I don't mean uniforms, like jerseys for the Americans. Sylvester, for you, jersey. I know you know. You're getting used to me always saying uniform, sneakers, and, I understand. So, sneakers as in joggers, or, running shoes. I'm starting to be Americanized. It's running shoes. No. I'm Sylvester. I'm going to say running shoes. Running shoes. I am not going to lose my Canadianism. It's running shoes for me, not sneakers. I never said sneakers when I was very young in teen years. I've always said, "Where's my running shoes?" Oh, I'm buying new running shoes and tracksuit too. I always said tracksuit. Uniform for jerseys, tracksuits, sneakers. Viva la Canada. That's it. There's my nation pride. Only on vocabulary. That's it. Because that's what I was used to saying all the time. And just kidding around, of course. And, you know, well, what was I saying? But I just lost my concentration. I can't play it back. I can't pause and play it back. I don't have that. That's another thing. Editing power. Sylvester, I I just want to win the lottery to have my big studio and get get you guys a really nice studio, and I mean you, the whole sports news crew, like with really transparent decks. You know what I mean? Um, like using like a printer. Looks like a real professional desk. You know, the lighting, really good light. I try my best. I just showing off my lighting in this one, Sylvester. Where I just try to pretend like it's a studio, because that one I'm using now for the front. Nighttime, if it's a nighttime, I'm gonna have. But right now, I have to even block. So, like you can see where I'm blocking. Look over the word state now. It's nice. See, it's shaded nice. That was my hand. That's just my hand doing that, blocking some of that sunlight. I'm blocking sunlight too. If I wasn't kind of lying down the way I am, holding all this stuff up, yeah, Sylvester's picture would be uh, so bright, you know. Anyways, so well, it's a hour and 24. It's very long. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have to upload this and then delete it. So I don't have much room on my they call it the cloud storage. This won't even fit on my cloud storage. I don't care because it's gonna be deleted. That's YouTube is my cloud storage for me, because I don't have I don't have I still only use the free cloud storage, and I don't even know why. I don't I need my I call him my technician to like, but I don't want to move my laptop out of this. I don't want to move my laptop out of this studio, Sylvester. It is sport. I don't want anything bad to happen to my laptop, because that is sport. That laptop is Sports News Review, and it's property of. I call him jokingly saying that's property of Sports News Review, and I like, but there's certain things we have in our contract, is that we're jokingly saying, it's not real, but like Sylvester has his desk, and remember Ernie and Sylvester shared that desk at the beginning, and then it's like, no, we have Sylvester is like, hey, I want a part of my renegotiated contract where I want my own desk, and I'm like, okay, no problem, I have no problem with that. Well, I can't remember if I got your desk before CEOB. See, there's a timeline of everything. After December the 25th of, was it 2023? The when Then I pretended we have the CEO. That's when it's mainly. That's when I'm jokingly saying that all the stuff that we put up on and is approved by our CEO. Obviously, it's not. There's no CEO. I'm Sports News Review, and everything you see. I know. I guess I feel a little pride in my own pride in like to do a studio that's like on the foot of a bed, like where I'm lying down back. My head's on the foot of the bed, kind of lying down with a pillow, and like, and my feet are where my pillow usually is, where I'm watching TV, and I'm on the one half of the double bed where during the daytime I'm on this half, and then I switch gears after to sleep on the other half, the mattress, the full mattress, like 100% full, thick full, because that way it gives the time for the one side to pop back up, and gives, because I'm on it a lot, and like that's another thing, Sylvester, is like, I like that's the whole thing about winning a lottery, is like I could really, really put a microphone I could lie down and put a microphone and actually hire, quote unquote, a staff. I would, Sylvester, if I had the money. hire staff to do all the particulars of scripts. Really professional looking program with an editing power. If we don't do it in a live stream, say live stream is live stream. You can't edit a live stream. It's either you turn it on, turn it off. But we, to rewind, to remember my train of thought, and of course the editing. We could take out a lot of, we could just go like there's no bloopers because well, what's funny is that we do have a blooper, and I'm going to put up the Sylvester's blooper later on, and just say like, I don't know. I mean, I feel good about everything. Um, I just worried about doing this one program right now, and it's going to be another different program the next week. Like, whatever. I yeah, they can. Now once a week we could do this, Sylvester, because we could do Coach Coyote, World Sports News and Ernie, and then you, and the weekends. No, we're all going to take a break on the weekends unless it's a live stream that we're going to do. Live streams, there's no such thing as taking a break for a live stream because instead of doing a live stream, taking a break because that's a different category. Live stream is a live stream, but as far as recorded programs going, yeah, I mean, I I wanted to do scripts, but they take too long, and it's really smooth, like like transition between like subtopics in it, and well, Sylvester, I'm just like, we gotta finish this. And I feel like the way I feel like when I'm doing World Sports News and Ernie's, I gotta take everything down. Not today. I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna put the camera away safely. Put the camera away somewhere else. I'll just see. Sylvester is the only thing I'm gonna move out of the studio. I'm not. You know what, Sylvester? I'm leaving everything up for the rest of the day and night. I don't feel like putting the studio away for the next program right now. I shouldn't have sat. I shouldn't have reclined in that chair. That was a bad move. I can't stop rubbing my leg now with my other foot. My foot is rubbing my leg, and so is and I can't stop doing it. It's just because I shouldn't have been in. I'm getting the feeling back in my foot. It's not as cold. It's almost feeling at the same temperature as my right foot. But yeah, I'm just gonna put Sylvester back in the window. Uh, he likes to. I'm pretending, he's being as a cat. He likes to look out the window, and that's how he got the sun on him so much. He was like he used to be super black, just like the pictures. But those pictures, like I said, I can't. For folks out there, I cannot recreate that photo I did where it says Sylvester's podcast. And that photo, I cannot recreate that photo. I tried and tried. It's it's like those iconic photos like of James Dean or whatever, like something like that. I mean, you just can't recreate that photo. And like, even though Sylvester's not changed, like as in like he's not like a human being where, or even a real animal that's changed in weight, and whatever. The only thing he's changed is that he's turning white because he's being bleached from the sun. Look, putting him out on the. He stands up in the window. Oh my gosh, if anybody's like out there, if you were to see that, you would just die laughing how cute it looks where he's standing up, because he can stand up because I got tip of his nose up against the glass. That holds him up, and he looks like he's actually standing up looking outside. And oh, it's so cute to see that. But the thing is that, and then I brought up the photo that you see where it says Sylvester's podcast. I can't I tried and tried to recreate that photo. I I just can't do it. I'm using the same camera, but no, I'm not. Oh, that's what it is. Sylvester, I'm not gonna try. I can't remember how I did it. That's another thing too. See, I can't remember where the board. Like, is he? How did he stand up on? Like, I don't remember. How did it come to the angle? I'd have to know the angle again. It would take forever to try to recreate that photo. So I decided to just print it out. So it's still, it's that way because that one's part of the cloud store too. I really don't want to lose that photo, like where Sylvester's podcast photo is. I just can't. I cannot recreate that. And this is the same photo but smaller. I took a picture of that one to make an icon for, but I got, like I said, I got to scale it. It's trial and error. So now it's like, well, I cut it all out, and the bigger microphone, it was just too big. It covered up too much of Sylvester. The one that looks more like it's an old fashioned microphone. Sylvester, I'd really like to find a prop microphone that looks like from the 20s or 30s, like this, because it's nice. It's not black. I want chrome looking, like, even though if it's not chrome, I want the chrome because it's brighter. And put it right here, like the old fashioned desktop microphone. I would love to find a prop, but you know, like if I don't want to go buy a real microphone because I got them. I don't need another microphone as a prop. Like, but I like the color. If I find one, a toy microphone that's like exactly like this, like just a little bit taller, even a little bit taller than this pretend photo I'm doing, like a desk. Yeah, that's it too. That's that Sylvester's. That's that one there. I took another picture of that, but I scaled it, and then I didn't want to use it as a microphone icon because it looks so good. Oh, it's being held up. You know what's funny? Look how it's being held up. Most blokes would think that it's I got some kind of piece of metal behind it, like a. That's what's holding it up. You don't see what you don't see. You know what I mean? You don't see it, so you hide it because you don't see it. And you know what? I'm gonna give everybody a treat, Sylvester. No, I don't. No, I don't want to scare the kids if I pick them up the wrong way. And if kid sees me picking you up by a certain way. I mean, by mistake. They're not gonna like it. They're not gonna like it the way you're picked up because you're an inanimate object to me, and I'm not worried about picking you up and looks like I'm hurting you, but I'm not. I'm just picking you up. But yeah, one of these days, I guess I should take a picture behind Sylvester. You know what I'll do, Sylvester? I'll put it in my post. We're gonna put it in our post. We're gonna put the tail. We're gonna get the tail in because that's what made. Oh, the detail, the hands, the ears. Oh, come on. When I see this 93, I couldn't resist buying it. Even though I had no reason to buy a stuffed toy. I didn't have a girlfriend at the time or anything like that. But I just loved Sylvester. He looks so funny and so cute. And I'm thinking, well, one of these days I'll give it to a girlfriend. And I never did end up getting one. And I don't think like, if like one date, I'm not giving you away on one date. No, no, I will get it back. A breakup. Can I have my Sylvester back? But I didn't know you're going to be on Sports News Review. Okay, so, well, I'm hoping to be funny. Be like, I just don't want people like mad at me for. This program, the State of Affairs, Nation Pride in Sports, and like I'm trying to it's kind of turning me off to to this highly anticipated sporting events like tonight's. I, I seriously don't even care. And I guess Sylvester, I guess I'm gonna have to end the program and get back to the real world we are in. And as soon as this camera is off, I'm back to the real world, and I don't like it. I like being in the world where I like being in this pretend world. Sylvester's there. It's like, I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it, Sylvester. I feel different. Like I feel like I'm just part of this magical world that doesn't exist, but I don't. I don't know. I can't explain it. But with that, I'm gonna go grab. I didn't realize I put the mouse down here. I'm gonna, and you can see where the cursor is, and it's gonna be going over the stop, and it says, yeah, there it is. Stop taking video. Okay, so let's say our goodbye, Sylvester. It's been a long 1 hour and 35 minutes. So for Sylvester and I, on Sylvester's podcast, both of us are saying over and out.